Good evening and welcome to the Mutts Open Chat Night. What's wrong?
I just can't type in the chat.
You can't type in the chat?
Mm-mm.
Why not?
I don't know. It's just showing the error. Try again.
Huh.
It's done that to me in the past.
Strange, odd, and unusual. She is here, ladies and gentlemen. She is apparently having much issues. I am going to. One thing I have not done is I have not included the link. We are going to have an open panel of it. I can get up to like 6 people up here and we can have a chat. Give me just a second. Let me do this. Indeed.
Well, you also haven't introduced yourself.
I am the Celtic Mutt,
And I am Mrs. Muck.
and as I said just a moment ago, this is an open chat night, aka late night with the Mutts.
And we have Miss Trinity joining us at my shoulder.
Hey, what's up, trim girl? She is our calico cat. For those of you who are new to the chat,
Yeah, she is ours, but she has a special bond with me, it seems.
she has a job. She is Danica's ESA or Mrs. Mutt's ESA, whatever. Yes.
Yes, well, even if she wasn't my ESA, she would still have that special bond with me because I'm the one that gets the exfoliation treatments to my face.
Which is ironic considering that for the week before you got here, she spent all that time with me.
I know.
Which is
No, actually, no.
yes.
No. She got the time with me while you were in the hospital.
Oh, yeah. Okay. And for those of you who might be interested, we can now have up to 6 people in the chat currently, because I pinned the link at the top. So if you want to join in,
If you would like to join the panel
Yep.
and step into the studio,
come on in. All are welcome as long as we're, respectful and basic house rules, that kind of thing. There is no set topic tonight. We generally don't do politics on this channel. However, I think with some of the current events that have been going on this week, it might not be a bad idea to bend that rule just slightly today.
yeah, we could.
It was a promise I made Mrs. Mutt when we started the channel that we wouldn't do heavy politics, and I'm not going to do heavy politics, but we can discuss them. We are both conservative, and we both think that there are some things that are a little funny. I have very strong opinions about Tampon Tim. Seeing as my father served in the military, received a Purple Heart for being wounded in Vietnam.
And should have received, what was the award?
Bronze Star.
Bronze Star, but some of his unit mates thought he had actually passed because of the wounds he had received.
Yes, my father was the most severely wounded on that particular day, which was May 5th of 1967.
Vietnam.
In Vietnam. His unit was overrun by a full battalion of Vietnamese regulars. And my father actually charged the gun mounts and pulled the firing pins and threw them over the hill. So that the gun, and when they went and checked the next, actually, I'm sorry, that was the day before. Not the day he was wounded. That was the day before. The day, and he threw them over the hill. When they had gone back, the guns had all been turned towards them. So had the firing pins had Dad not pulled those firing pins,
Their own guns would have been used against them.
And they were not the small guns. They were the 155 howitzers, which fired a couple of 100-pound ordinances, and they would have probably all been massacred.
Mm.
But the
I
following
am
day, on the
so glad your father had the foresight to do that.
he actually ran. They had just come out of a meeting, and he was headed for his hooch or his hut. And when the first attack came in, he wasn't even armed at the time. He didn't have his service weapon with him. It was in his hooch, and he was running for that. And then he had the foresight to say, "Wait a minute, this could get ugly." So he ran. This was the day he was wounded. He ran. No, I'm sorry. This was the day before. Yeah, this was the day before. He ran for the. He ran for the guns, pulled the firing pins, threw them over the hill, and then ran back and grabbed his weapon. Actually was running back to grab his weapon when he was wounded.
Your father was an amazing man anyway.
All 125 pounds of him.
That just made him all the more amazing to me.
Yeah, Dad
and
was
made
something
me
else.
respect him all the more.
Dad was something else. My dad and I didn't always agree, but I have a great deal of respect. People used to say who was my hero, and I would always say my father. I didn't need Rambo. I lived with Rambo.
I love your dad, and I wish that I had been here to say a proper goodbye when he had passed.
Oh, I never will forget the conversation in the car when I said, "Yeah, that's okay, honey. He loves you more than he loves me anyway." He just kind of gave me the side eye. No, I love you more. You're my son. I'm thinking to myself, yeah, okay, you keep telling me that, Pop.
I was honored and surprised when you told me he had wanted my sriracha deviled eggs.
Yep, that is true. Dad had a fondness for her sriracha deviled eggs. She made them one Thanksgiving. We got on to food. This is where the conversation is going to go now, ladies and gentlemen. We're on to food. And I tried making your sriracha deviled eggs once. Yeah, it didn't work out so well. I mean, they were okay, but they weren't your sriracha deviled eggs.
Well, you don't like mayonnaise.
No, I don't. So,
and
I
don't know that you're a big mustard fan.
I don't mind mustard.
So I don't know that you could get the balance between those two right. Plus the
balance between it with the sriracha.
With it.
Yeah. I think part of it was the fact that instead of instead of mayonnaise, I use chicken broth, which changed the flavor completely.
And I would imagine the texture.
Yeah, it did change the texture some. I don't particularly care for mayonnaise, for those of you who don't know.
Let me ask. When I was talking to my friend in South Floyd today, I told her that you have an aversion to
white sauces
White
sauces in general.
Yes. But I said that I don't think that you're even a fan of having cream cheese in things other than like cream cheese frosting.
Yeah, I'm not.
Am I wrong on that?
No, you are not wrong on that. I am not a fan. I don't like.
She says it's blasphemous.
Well, your friend can be wrong.
Well, you disagree with her anyway because you love ketchup, and this is the friend that cannot stand ketchup. Believes she was beaten as a baby with a ketchup bottle.
Well, wait a minute. That's you.
No, I'm not as bad as she is.
That's you. You don't like it. Yeah. They say opposites attract. Well, that is true because
in some respects,
Mrs. Mutt and I, when it comes to certain foods and certain television shows, Bob's Burgers,
Rick and Morty,
Bob's Burgers. I literally feel brain cells dying. Anyway,
to me,
those are hilarious to you.
Yes.
You find them hilarious, and I'm just like going, "This is stupid. What am I watching?"
Which is why I can't handle Beavis and Butthead. And you enjoy that.
I'm a kid of the 80s. What do you expect? Cornholio. Anyway.
The funny thing is growing up in my household,
Yeah.
my mother told me I wasn't allowed to watch the Muppet Show because she thought it was the stupidest thing on television.
No.
No,
No. Nope. Not the stupidest thing on
she thought it
television.
was the stupidest thing on television at that point.
However, I will say,
Yes, thank you for the kisses.
I will say that when Cartoon Network first started out, I was not opposed to my children watching Ed, and Eddie.
And many.
And I also had a fondness for Recess. I actually would sit
What
down with them and
Have
watch
you
those.
ever watched Robot Chicken?
One episode is for I'd never watch it again.
I have sat through many
No,
episodes.
never.
Hey, Blaine.
Blaine, come. Hey, how are you, bud? Come on up if you want the pin. The Blaine's pinned at the top, bro.
I have watched many episodes. It used to be on between two shows I enjoyed, if I remember right. So I would watch, but it was not something I sought.
I was okay. This is how my cartoons went. Okay, and yes, we're going to talk about cartoons for a few minutes. I told you it was an open mic night. We're going to talk about wherever this conversation could go in all directions at the same time.
He says, "Give him a sec."
All right, no worries. Take your time, bro. I would come home from school, and it was, well, in Japanese, it was the Gatchaman. Here we called it G-Force. And then after G-Force, it was Star Blazers, my two cartoons of choice. When I got introduced to Biker Mice from Mars, I really became a Biker Mice from Mars fan. Loved that show. Judge me if you want to, ladies and gentlemen. I don't care. Okay. That was my jam right there. Was Biker Mice from Mars. Loved them.
And you're how old coming home from school? What
I don't know.
roughly?
I don't know. 12, 13.
Okay.
12, 13. Are you kidding me? If they were still on the air, I'd come home now and watch them. I actually used to have the entire set of no, I had the DVDs. I did join the current, at that time it was the current evolution of technology, but I had G-Force and I had the Star Blazers DVDs. I could never find the Biker Mice from Mars. So yeah, I was a big fan of those. And of course, there was always, Gilligan's Island, I Love Lucy, and that stuff. But I was one of the fortunate kids that I had a TV in my room.
Mm-hmm.
I always had a TV in my room from the time I was about 7 or 8. My parents bought me a small television because I was in the hospital and they could get it into the hospital. So that was kind of a big thing for me. I always enjoyed being able to watch whatever I wanted.
Mm-hmm.
It's another reason my sister hated me, because when we got the big box TV that was supposed to be shared between the two of us, guess whose room it went into?
Mm-hmm.
But what she never considered was, I'm 7 years older than she is. Why would a toddler need a television in her room? We didn't have cable at that point. This was 1977.
Mm.
So, there was no need for that. There was no need to put that in there.
Right.
So I was, I got used to having it in my room. Again, folks, anybody interested in jumping up and possibly changing the topic to something you want to discuss, the link is pinned at the top. I do have room for 6 people. Because I am running the free StreamYard at the moment. And we have plenty of time because Mrs. Mutt and I usually only burn up about 8 hours of our 20 hours in the course of the month with our Wednesday night shows. And if you're new to the channel and you've not been to one of our history night channel shows, please feel free to join us on Wednesdays. This coming Wednesday, we will be discussing
The USS Virginia.
Yeah, which is a fast attack sub. There. And we will be discussing some historical facts about the current evolution of the USS Virginia. There have been 9 others. We may bring up some of them as well. I don't know, but we will definitely be heavily involved with the current one.
Yeah.
Is
That's the
that
one
is
I'm
Blaine?
concentrating on.
Hold on, Blaine's down here in the chat. I see him. Uh-oh.
Yeah, I had to move my other thing out of the frame.
Oh, no worries.
I don't want you to get a weird YouTube strike or something from that.
One of those things that requires freedom seeds.
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
That's what I
Oh yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm happy, man. I'm all right. I mean, I'm trying to stay that way because y'all don't like politics on this channel, so I'm staying back from that.
We can get into it a little bit. We just don't want to go full. I'm just not looking to go full bore into conspiracy theories that'll take us down rabbit trails that could get me a strike. That's all I'm saying.
Well, what just recently happened, what I would have to say would get you strikes. I don't want to get into that. Thanks.
You and I can have that conversation backstage later if you want.
All right.
I have no problems with that. We probably agree on some things. I'm pretty sure we do, as a matter of fact. But yeah, it's gonna be an interesting couple of months. So let's just say that there's like 90 days, I think, or something like that till the elections. I'm curious to see if we actually have the elections in November. I was thrilled.
There's a theory.
There's a theory.
It's going to be an assassination or
No.
an unaliving attempt. No. That Biden is going to pass away.
Yes, I have heard that. Yes.
And that therefore Kamala is going to become number 47. And it's going to cause a run on all of Trump's number 47 merchandise.
Being put in his war chest.
And
that's all good.
I don't know. I haven't heard exactly what happened from there.
I haven't heard either. You were watching Timcast the other night while I was taking care of something else. Yes, I was. Yeah.
Dozing or something.
Yeah, I was doing something.
This is not the rabbit hole I was referring to.
Okay, well, probably not, but I wanted to keep it somewhat safe. I know that topic has been discussed on other channels, so I was okay with her discussing that. I could go deep into some rabbit holes, and I don't want to do that because, well, let's face facts. It's not a conspiracy theory anymore. It's conspiracy fact.
Yeah.
The time frame used to be, it was years between a conspiracy theory becoming a fact and it staying a theory. Now it's down.
Almost instantaneous.
Now it's almost instantaneous. She's right. Now
I was about to say, it's almost minutes now.
Yeah, it really is. It's almost instantaneous.
Especially because of the internet.
Yeah, I mean, they're just. I thought like, for example, everybody talked about there being 10,000 people to meet Kamala when she got off that plane. And then the janitor let the secret out that there was nobody out there, that it was all AI.
Well, you could kind of see from the cell phone pictures, they
That's what
were
I've heard. I
all
haven't seen
pointing
them.
their cell phones at a white wall.
I haven't seen the pictures, so I didn't. I've only heard the theory. I've been kind of busy with Tampon Tim.
Oh, that one, that's all sorts of special. I personally have had, I've been having to deal with the 1776 issue.
Okay. Got milk? Oh, did I say that out loud?
No, this one is about you can't say what you want to say. You can't say what you want to say, because if you do, we're going to take you away from your homes and your country, and we're going to take you to another country and persecute you.
Yep.
Well, I've heard.
But I don't speak Spanish, so that could be a problem.
Oh no, this isn't a Spanish-speaking country.
Oh no.
No, this is the country that we defeated about 250 some odd years ago.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
I've heard that there are several detention centers built, at least one per state.
Heard that rumor.
And they had been passing them off as detention centers for newcomers. However,
No, Chef, I had not heard that, but it doesn't surprise me.
they are not for newcomers. They are for American dissidents.
Come on.
And down the rabbit hole we fall. I am going to
Oh
address
boy.
you real quick. I had not heard that, but I will be honest, it does not surprise me. That side of the fence is not real happy with her. And that does, it's not a surprise that they would do that, to be honest. I would have been.
If you think that's bad, this is why it was says, I didn't want to voice it.
I'll go ahead.
Okay, here, let me put on my tinfoil cap real quick.
Mine's upstairs, but I can make another one real fast.
Here we go.
I know.
UK Commissioner of the Metropolitan Police Department of London said that if Americans specifically, but more so any other country as well, are speaking openly and outwardly about things on UK soil, including pushing UK citizens to take back their rights that were afforded to them by the Magna Carta, that they will come to your home, they will pull you out of your beds, and they will extradite you to the UK, where they will persecute you in front of a full panel. I turned around and said, I am a direct descendant of the royal families. Therefore, I have a right, legal, to be able to speak and be heard in the UK, even though I am an American citizen. Because of this, I stated very clearly exactly what was wrong with their situation and placed an open challenge to said individual. I am still waiting for him to even comment on the video.
Well, we are probably. I'm in that same line. But I'm way down the line. But I'm not going to get. I don't worry about what goes on over there. because we got enough trouble here that we need to fix before we go sticking our nose in somebody else's business.
Oh, this is not someone else's business, brother. This was literally this man threatened American citizens. It became our business.
Oh, that does kind of make it our business. Chef, yeah, I know she's currently military, so I'm not sure how that's going to work if they call her up, because I know she doesn't. If I'm not mistaken, she either holds the rank of colonel or lieutenant colonel currently with the National Guard for her state. If I'm not mistaken. So how are they going to tell her she can't? That doesn't work. How are they going to put her on a list, quote unquote? and
Basically, how it works, brother, is that they would place her on administrative duties. Basically means that she would not be allowed to be in any active participant in any kind of conflict. She would not be allowed to have access to any sensitive documentation. And in other words, it's basically what they...
Go ahead.
Was that?
No, I was talking. Shep said he'd be right back. I said, no worries.
So, anyways, as I was says, basically what they would be doing to her is making it so that she couldn't do her other job.
She'd have to serve in any capacity stateside.
No, she couldn't. Okay. She could not serve in any capacity that has access to sensitive documents, meaning that she could not be part of Congress.
She's a member of Congress.
Okay.
Yeah. That's kind of dicey. You know, I don't want to learn to speak Russian, Chinese, Korean.
Don't send me to Venezuela.
We're not going to Venezuela. I loved Venezuela when I was there 30 some odd years ago. Great. It was great back then. I'll be mad if they burn down Troppy Burger. But this is just getting nuts. I thought we were the land of the free, the home of the brave. I did not realize that we were home of the slave. Oh, did I say that quiet part out loud?
Land of the fee. Yeah.
The land of the fee and the home of the slave. Oops, I said the quiet part out loud again. Damn it. I got
You must learn to use your under your breath voice.
I know. It's hard for me to do though. You know, I just don't. I don't know. I'm fed up about a lot of things.
Yeah, if they decided to go and try and enforce any of that in the United States, let me just point this out to you. There is a reason why Americans spit on the ground every time they mention Benedict Arnold's name. Sorry.
Had to do it.
Yeah.
Hey, little girl, what are you doing?
Jumped off the back onto the couch.
Okay. All right.
The man is the first traitor in America, but he were not the last. And everyone who has ever been a traitor to America, we do the same thing for them.
I made, you know what? I'm going to have to take a screenshot of it and shrink it down. And I may have to make that the thumbnail for this. I made a sticker a while back. Nobody's ever bought one, but it says, "The tyrant sees the patriot as a traitor during the conflict," or something to that effect. In other words, you know, King George saw the colonists as traitors.
Traitors, when all they were doing was standing up for
So,
the rights that they should have had.
yeah, they were, you know, that's just like we talked about the other day. Why they started moonshining was to protest
that.
that tax on
that tax on
distilled
distilled
spirits.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So I mean, it wasn't just the Tea Party. There were all kinds of parties that people don't talk about that went down. I mean, yes, the Tea Party was the most famous one there in Boston, but you know,
There were all sorts of ways that they.
protested.
Yeah.
So all that corn liquor that people have been drinking, y'all are still protesting. I want y'all to understand that.
Right.
That's all right. Protest away. Protest away. just don't forget me. I need to get some too.
Hey, that's why I drank me a pint soon as old boy said, that they were going to go and persecute Americans for speaking on the internet. I went and I cracked a pint.
There is a reason that my great grandmother wore orange on St. Patrick's Day.
Woo!
She did.
Hey,
She did.
I'm all for it.
She did.
Oh, and go brave.
Her boss was Irish. She was English. She was full-blooded English. And on St. Patty's Day, she would walk in wearing orange. He had a fit. But
Hey, that's why when folks start saying things about how England and England, Scotland, and Ireland are all one nation, I turn around and I says, "Oh, and go brave." And when they tell me, "Oh, well, Bunny Prince Charlie was this, that, and the other, and a scumbag and a coward," I'm like, "Yeah, he was, but he still stood up. He did more than you people do."
Yeah, Charlie was.
By the way, that's my ancestral lineage. If y'all wanted to know.
Yeah. I still say we're related somewhere down the line.
Probably.
Probably. Everybody used to joke about me. I have proven to Mrs. Mutt that I'm not related to everybody, just almost everybody. There's been a couple of people who've come up, nope, not related to them. Nope, not. She asked me one day, she goes, "Is there anybody you're not related to?" I said, "Nope, I'm not related to that one, that one, that one, that one, that one, that one, or that one."
He is a Hatfield.
Yes, I am.
We both are.
Indeed, we are. That's why we got married, because if she'd been a McCoy, I couldn't do it. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, for those of you who did see the thumbnail for this show, that was taken on our wedding day. We were married at a Revolutionary War battle site. That's how.
Very early in the
1775 to be exact. December 9th. December 9th, 1775. Wow, I'm reciting stuff from the from
So
the trivia night.
the family name that y'all have known me by is Price.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yes, that also goes back to Eiler and Elias Price, but also those are the Prices related to the Blacks, the Kennedys.
Oh God, he's a Kennedy. We got it.
The Stewarts,
the Starts,
the Windsors.
He's related to.
probably.
I guarantee you we're related somehow.
I'm sure we are. But yeah, it's just there's just I don't know. I don't know.
Oh, by the way, not that Kennedy. No, not that Kennedy.
I was gonna say, have you been to Chappaquiddick?
Wrong Kennedy. Damn it. No, I'm not actually related to the Kennedy that was that was unalived in Dallas.
You're related.
I'm related to the Kennedys that died on Connaughton.
Connaughton.
Yeah.
Connaughton.
Those Kennedys.
The Jacobites.
Yeah.
The Jacobites. Yeah, I know a little bit about the Jacobites. So, but and I didn't know anything about the Jacobites until I started watching Outlander, and then they started talking about the Jacobites, and that got me into doing a whole series of research, looking things up, because I didn't know that Bonnie Prince Charlie had been a Jacobite.
Yep. Thank you very much.
Yeah. And I made a comment about when the Olympics first started and they had that disgustingly nasty display at the opener. That I may be known as the Celtic Mutt, but I do have a smattering of French in me. My great grandparents and my great grandmother's parents were they were Ulster French. In other words, they were Protestants. And when the Catholics in France started being persecuted, or started persecuting the Protestants, they left, and that's when they came to the States. But I can't stand up for the French if they're going to have that kind of. So basically, what I'm saying is, when you watch the Olympics, you're supposed to see what that country has to offer. So basically, what they told us for their opener was they had bad weather, no electricity,
Debauchery.
And lots of debauchery.
Yep.
And
that sounds about like what France is.
Yeah,
men that dress in drag.
And men dressing in drag. So yeah, I'm good. I don't need that. That's not my tea. Yeah, what you do behind closed doors is your business.
Against Christianity.
Yeah, absolutely. If you want to be, about that, and you want to do it behind closed doors, knock yourself out. But to get on a worldwide stage, a literal worldwide stage,
and portray that.
Well, yeah, that got me going, because I was like, wait a minute, isn't Dionysus supposed to be a Grecian god?
Yeah, I believe so. And he was the god of wine and debauchery, pretty much.
Exactly, which is why it says to me, like, wait a minute, he's from Greece. He ain't from France.
Well, my thing is this. You can tell me till the cows come home that was not the Last Supper. I'm going to call bullshit.
Oh, it definitely was.
And what was up with Marie Antoinette singing? What? And of course, then they tried to say that was not the pale horse of death. That I'm like, come on, guys, y'all must think we're stupid. I know. And then what was up with the beat? Not that I'm a fan of the Statue of Liberty, because I'm not, and I will tell you that right now. I think that there is something. I have always gotten the creeps from the Statue of Liberty. It has always creeped me out.
Ever since you told me,
I ruined the Statue of Liberty for her,
because you told me that we were the second thought.
We were the afterthought.
Yeah.
Egypt was supposed to have gotten it to go over the Suez Canal, and the designer of the Suez Canal turned it down, saying it was too expensive. So then
it's not just that, because of what the Statue of Liberty was supposed to depict. It was basically supposed to be a kind of a ploy on the Colossus of Rhodes.
Yes. Yeah.
So that is insulting to Egyptians. I don't know if y'all knew that. Rhodes was Grecian, and the Egyptians and the Grecians freaking hate each other. Like, really, really hate each other.
Yeah.
So that was like, France basically being like, well, to Egypt, and Egypt was like, yeah, dude, screw you. We're not only are we not paying for that crap, but you could take that right to F off mountain and on your F off horse and
Yeah. So they decided to give it to us. They tried. And we were dumb enough to say, okay, yeah, we'll take it. No, I'm
call
good.
it the Statue of Liberty. But anyways, my great granddad from Italy. The reason why the Statue of Liberty, to me, it's not so bad, is specifically because when he came through Ellis Island, he was one of the few people that was a foreigner that after he went and he did all of his extra stuff because he came here as a WAP, he got the
He said that,
privilege.
I did not
Yes.
say that.
Yes, I said that. My great granddaddy was a WAP. What? He came here without papers because his papers were destroyed during the voyage.
Wow,
So,
without papers.
Yes, he came here as a WAP.
Yeah,
and
without papers.
He went and worked really hard to gain back his worth and whatnot. Sat on Ellis Island for I think it was nigh on 6 months. And when he finally got all his paperwork from Italy and all that, he then was one of the few people that got the opportunity to walk up into the torch and stand on the balcony of the torch. And that's why, to me, it's not so insulting as it would be for most folk.
Yeah, well,
Well, I gotta say that must be a
it's gotta be
fantastic view.
it's gotta be a great view. Except I'm petrified of heights. So I ain't going up that high.
I'm terrified of heights myself. I mean, I get vertigo if I look down at my feet. So, but you got to understand, to me, it's kind of like one of those. It's part of my heritage.
Right.
Whereas for other folks, it's like, oh, that's an insult to the United States. It's an insult to Jesus Christ. It's an insult to, freedom and liberty and all that. And I'm like, well,
I'm kind of in that boat. That's the boat I'm in. But everybody's entitled to their opinions, and I don't have a problem with that.
It meant a new opportunity for my great granddad, and when he came here, it was the opportunity that he was granted. Because of that, he did not squander it. I mean, I know y'all have heard of the Carusos.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, well, that was Antoine Caruso.
Hold on a second. 1 second, Blaine. If there's anyone else who would like to join because I see that somebody else just popped in. We were down to 2 and now we're back up to 3. If anybody wants to pop in, by all means, feel free. The link is pinned at the top. Go ahead, Blaine. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but I want to make people aware of that.
Oh, absolutely. Anyways, so his name was Antoine Caruso. If you know anything about Antoine Caruso,
I don't.
then you know his son was one of the most famous tenors to ever grace the stage.
I'm not familiar with who that is.
Enrico Caruso.
Again, still not familiar, but I'm not into
Well,
the
yeah,
arts quite like
that's
that.
it.
So,
It's kind of opera, but he was what they call a tenor singer. His last performance ever in all of opera or singing or anything like that was singing the national anthem at the World Series. So when it comes down to it, Enrico was one of those Americans. It's like, yeah, he spoke Italian. He kind of was very much so Italian, but he was American, boss.
yeah, my grandparents, great grandparents, on my mother's side,
Or I might got that backwards. I think he actually might have been Antoine's dad. My bad.
Was a they came to the States through Canada. They lived in just outside Toronto for
Uncle.
quite a while, and then they moved to New Jersey when my grandfather got a job with Schultz Beer. And, yeah, so they came without papers. So yeah, wow. So yeah, I mean, I understand people. They came to the country and they did what needed to be done to improve themselves.
I'm wondering, from what I remember of my mother talking to me, one of my ancestors from, I believe it was Europe, but I'm not sure where in Europe, was a stowaway on a ship.
I can believe that.
Ooh. Intrigue.
See, I don't have a problem with people who
I'm wondering how they dealt with those coming through Ellis Island.
I don't know. That's a good
All right.
question.
So I actually know about this because one of my Irish ancestors was a stowaway. They would put you to work in the boilers for, I believe it was 11 months, transporting other individuals on the liners or on the cargo ships, whichever you stow weight on. And then they would sign a guarantor of release in America, and you could apply for citizenship. And after, I believe it was 14 years, you could gain citizenship. But you had to actually do all of your 11 months in the boilers.
14 years. Wow. I know that
okay, that I understand for a male working in. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
You stepped on me. I know with my grandfather, he wasn't a stowaway. He was he was born in Canada because that's where my great grandparents came in through.
Oh boy.
And the way he got his citizenship was he agreed to join the U.S. Army and serve during World War II.
Okay.
He was an ambulance driver in the European theater. So that's how he got his citizenship.
That was a hell of a thankless job right there. Ooh.
He was, my mother says she can remember when he came home, when after she was born, if they would see an accident on the side of the road, he would immediately pull over to the side. He wasn't a paramedic, he wasn't an EMT, he wasn't a doctor, or any of that. But because he'd had the Army training, it was so ingrained in him, he would literally pull off on the side of the road and render aid, and
whatever capacity
he could, until somebody got there, so she said she saw quite a bit. And then what does she do? What does my mother do? She turns around and marries an EMT.
Yep.
And then has a grandson who's an EMT. That's what my kid, he's not doing it any. I think he's still doing teaching some classes at the school, but he's not actually
running the ship.
He's not running ships anymore. No, I think he's quit doing that.
You said that they would work the boiler for 11 months. Well, I would think that would just be the men. I'm wondering if that meant that they would have the women do housekeeping aboard the ships.
If I remember correctly, women had to have a man advocate for them. So basically what would happen is that if a woman wanted to gain her citizenship in America, she would have to somehow either A, marry an American citizen, or B, she would have to have one of the boiler crew advocate for her, and then she could, yes, work as one of the stewards.
Okay.
Sounds similar to what happens to the women of the Revolution when their husbands.
Kinda, yeah.
Yeah.
When a camp woman in the Revolutionary War would lose their husband in a battle, she would either have to prove that she could perform a task for service within her camp better than the other women, for example, to prove her value and therefore be able to stay, because there was a waiting list of women that wanted to be in these camps. Or she had to marry within, I believe it was 48 hours,
I believe that's what they said. When we went,
another man within the camp
yeah, they had
in order to stay with that camp.
talk about your fast. Talk about your speed dating.
Wow.
Early speed dating. The introduction.
I mean, I've heard of the whole thing between, Minutemen and militia wives and all that, but wow.
Yeah, and Danica used to.
I did a couple of Revolutionary War reenactments when I was still in Wisconsin, and learned a little bit about it. I absolutely loved what I did when I was up there, and I enjoyed learning about that. That's one of the things why I love doing the show with Mutt, is because I love the learning from the research we do.
Right.
That's right there in a nutshell why I personally love watching y'all's videos, and I love talking with you, because I learned a absolute ton, and not just from y'all, mind you. I'm also a student of history. Okay. I mean, I've got a rich heritage in this nation going all the way back to the signing of the Declaration and even beyond that. So, to me, it was a matter of I wanted to know, I needed to know where I come from, because let me put it this way. The name Price is one of the biggest families in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And you could have been a greengrocer, or you could have been part of the Polish Winged Hussars.
Yeah.
You have no idea. And the Winged Hussars, mind you, were all royalty.
Right.
So, and greengrocers, of course, the greengrocers were not royalty. They weren't, anything special or nothing like that. They just owned a general store.
Right. Excuse me.
So that last name that I carry, it was kind of important to me to find out why and what and where it comes from. Turns out both sides of the coin married into each other several times over in the United States, and so at least as far as my family's concerned, I got both.
This would be
Okay.
your last one.
Thank you. Yeah, I was wondering if you had seen any of the. I just posted a Rev War video yesterday.
Yeah, that was the pictures from when we went to the reenactment.
Yeah.
And that was one of our absolute favorite dates. So that was actually part of the reason why we selected the wedding site that we did. That was actually the site of that battle.
Yep. And where the monument stands is where the pig pen actually. I believe it was roughly the spot.
Now, pig pen does not mean an actual pig pen.
That was what they called Fort Murray, who was at the time Lord Dunmore. He was the Lord of Dunmore, who was the acting the last. He was the last Virginia royal governor. Not the last governor, the last royal governor appointed by the king. So yeah, there was we actually got to watch, and they do it every year. They do it every December 9th. In fact, next year's, because this was 248. So this December will be 249.
Okay.
So in
2025
will be the
100.
250th.
Oh, what am I thinking?
250th anniversary of the Battle of Great Bridge. Which was it after? I think it was after Lexington and Concord.
I don't know.
I think that's what they said. The difference is they actually won at Great Bridge.
Yeah.
Rebel battlefield.
And now there's a
Revolutionary War, not Civil War, Blaine. But still,
Yeah, I know. That's why I said it's the rebel battlefield.
Yeah, 'cause basically, yeah.
I have yet to go, and I am dying to, but they have what looks to be quite a wonderful museum on site. Mud has actually gone into it. I have not had the opportunity yet. You've gone into
The
the
mud,
museum.
yeah. I posted a video of
Right,
it.
but I have not gone into that museum.
Right, no. I thought you
On the
watched.
battlefield.
Have you watched the video?
No.
The video is posted to the Great Bridge
I'm
Battle.
debating about watching the video.
Mm.
Do I want to see it before I go, or do I want to go before I watch the video?
I would do both personally. I would do both.
I can't do both. It's one or the other. Which one do I do first?
Oh, which one do you do first?
Yeah,
Oh,
I can't do both first.
Sure, you can. You can be standing there watching the video while you're going through the museum.
No, that's doing it simultaneously. That's not doing one first before the other.
No.
You must learn the definition of first, sir.
Yeah, they're correct, madam. I had to apologize. I go. We next month when we both get paid, we'll go and we'll spend the $8 it costs to go in
Each or
each.
Ooh, okay.
I believe it was $8 a piece to go to the museum, and then of course, as you know, the trail is free.
Right.
Yeah. So there is
The trail, the pier, and the monument are free.
yes the causeway as it was referred to back then. It is now the Intercoastal Waterway, but back then it was referred to as the Causeway, and it goes all the way from Maine down to Florida.
Wow. That's a long ways to walk.
We actually
No.
the sailing.
That's the
It's the
water.
road.
That's the water. The waterway, the Intercoastal Waterway.
Oh,
we actually, while we were taking some of the pictures over by the monument, we heard someone yelling for swimmers to come over to where they were at on the shore.
Yep.
Because they had to get out of the water there. If they went much further, they were going to be at the locks.
Yeah. Which
What, another 500 feet and
Another
they'd be
500
at the lock?
well, people pull into those locks all the time, though.
We're talking swimmers
Yeah.
going down to the lock.
Yeah.
That might have been dangerous.
Could have really been dangerous. Yeah.
well, it kind of depends, because here's the thing about locks. The locks, well, they do let water in and out of them. The way that the water is put in and out of them, it goes through a graded hole that is down at the bottom of the locks. And so even though there would be upwelling and there would be some some dynamic forces, it would not be enough to overwhelm somebody who is a competent swimmer.
Well, that's not what they were worried about. They were worried about the fact that it was a very busy weekend for the boaters.
Yeah, it was
And-
probably
Aha.
They would not have seen the swimmers and run them over with the boat. That's what they were worried
That
about.
We're also worried about were they necessarily fully competent swimmers, and was if this was in some sort of organization,
I know something about those
being-
locks that will keep me out of ever swimming in the locks.
right? But if this was some sort of organization, would they have been liable if something had happened to the locks?
Yeah, that's true.
are you talking about the Crocs of the locks?
I'm not talking about the Crocs of the locks. I am talking about rolling balls of water moccasins that float down the locks.
Ah,
40 and 50 at a time, upwards of 100 at times.
Okay, remind me never to get in the causeway.
No, not a chance in the world.
Mm-mm.
I'm
I was
never.
already
You-
nervous about standing on that pier and tipping into the water. No.
That's why
Elon Musk could not afford to get me in that water.
Yeah, no. Well, I mean,
It makes me all the
it's
more
rare.
glad that he stood facing us the way he did, with the trees behind him and the water behind him.
I will say that it has been some time since anyone has seen
One of them.
a ball
The ball
of
of them.
a ball of water moccasins. Have I seen individual water moccasins swimming down the locks? Yes. Have I seen, black snakes, water moccasins, cottonmouths, copperheads? Yes, I've seen all of those in the locks, especially down there by where Mom's at. That's why when we would camp at Camp Baker, which used to be a Boy Scout camp, before we got into our sleeping bags, we would make sure to take them out and shake them out, and then bring them back in and and that's when we would go to bed. And make sure that the zippers were all zipped tight so that nothing got in. Yes. So yeah, that's not an exaggeration, ladies and gentlemen. That does happen. So yeah, no, you would never get me to swim in those locks. And then of course there's the eels, because it's brackish water.
Yeah.
And they're not electric eels, but I'm still not getting anything that an eel lives in. No, I'm not doing that. No.
I don't want to deal with those. No.
Man, that would really be terrible, because you wouldn't be able to go abalone diving, and that's the only way you can actually get abalone is to dive,
Yeah.
because you can't buy them in stores no more.
I can't dive anyway, so
Right, you're right. I'm sorry, I forgot about that.
nope, I can't dive because of the shunt in my head.
Yep.
Because the pressure would cause it would just that would be ugly.
Yeah. So unfortunate for you, but you'll never be allowed to have abalone.
Unless I pay somebody to dive for me and then bring it back to me.
No, because you would not be allowed to be in possession of said abalone without having the diver's license and all that fun stuff. And the diver's license is what costs the most. And if you have a diver's license, you can't then employ a diver, because to employ the diver would negate your license. They have to have the license. And also on top of that, that's commercial diving, and that is illegal and can have your license revoked.
It's only illegal on the left coast. I don't know anything. I don't know anything about it, Blaine. I'm just messing with you.
Abalone only live on the left coast, brother.
I understand that you live. He's almost to northern Mexico,
Almost.
aka Washington State.
Hey, I live in the sandwich of freedom here.
The sandwich of freedom.
The only portion of Oregon other than the great state of Jefferson that allows you to have a firearm about your person.
I was gonna say you must live in the great state of Jefferson, which doesn't exist yet, but I think it should.
It should, but no, I'm on the other side of Portland from that. And the funny thing is that Portland is like this little sliver of communism in between what I'm wanting to call the state of confusion and the state of Jefferson.
Ain't no way in the world, Jack. Ain't no way in the world. Not me. I got cousins that live in Beaverton and in Corvallis. You couldn't get me to move to
It might
Oregon.
be pretty to visit.
It might. I'd love to go one time just to say I've been to Fort Hood, or not Fort Hood, Mount Hood.
Mhm.
But yeah, no.
I live not even a half an hour from Mount Hood.
Yeah, I like to be able to say I've been there, seen that. I've been to Mount Washington, which is in New Hampshire. I've been to the base of it. I've hiked part of Mount Major, the Mount Major Trail. This was some years ago when I was actually
I've gone over a few mountains.
when I was
I've
actually
driven over a few mountains.
that was when I was actually in shape enough to do that. And yes, I realized, ladies and gentlemen, that round is the shape, but it does not do you any good to try to hike while you're round.
You too funny, brother. You too funny.
Listen, I can make jokes about myself. I'm comfortable enough in my own skin.
What we decide I am, a rhombus.
I don't know. Are you a rhombus?
I think because of my angles on my body, I think we decided I was a rhombus.
Okay, she's a rhombus, and I'm actually more of an oval. I'm actually more of an oval.
Well, that's nice. It's a hell of a lot better than being a line
I've dated
like
a line.
me.
I've dated a line.
I am a line.
Yeah, well, yeah,
I knew a couple in high school.
he's tall and thin, so yeah, he's a line.
Yeah, well, I knew a couple in high school that one was tall and thin and one was short and round, and they went to a dance.
Oh Lord.
She was in a red dress
Mhm.
and he was in a brown suit. They looked like a ball and bat.
Oh my god.
That's what they brought to mind for me.
Oh my God. She went there, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, she actually went and called them a ball and bat. That's okay. I went to a dance once, and my date. This was my junior year of high school, senior year of high school.
I mean, not that I was a tiny thing in high school either, but
And this has nothing to do with Anne's shape. And I have not seen Anne in many years. It's been at least 2 decades, probably closer to 3 now, since I've seen her. Okay, I cannot hear the B-52 song. What is it? It talks about Tin Roof Rustin.
Love Shack.
Love Shack. I cannot hear Love Shack without seeing Anne Dunkley. That was her name, Anne Dunkley, in my head, in her Ronald McDonald red boots. She had these Ronald McDonald red.
Hi.
Just about. They were Doc Martens. And I was like, and when she went to stomp, it looked like Ronald McDonald stomping. And I'm just like, oh my God, I'm dating one. I'm at the dance with Ronald McDonald. I was done. I was no more good.
Y'all think that's bad?
It was bad for me.
All right. Well, let me put it to you this a ways, brother. When I went to my high school prom, and mind you, I was in juvenile hall at the time. Okay, so this gets interesting.
So you are a delinquent. Okay, got you.
I was a delinquent. Anyway,
Yeah, that's fair.
At my high school prom, my date. Oh my God, I feel so bad about this. I hate calling her this because she was actually a very wonderful person.
What's her name? What's her first name? What was her first name? I'm gonna
Regina.
Regina. If you ever dated Mr. Blaine here, let me just say, on his behalf, he truly feels bad about the story he's getting ready to tell.
He's a very sincere person.
Yes, he does genuinely feel bad about this story. Now go ahead, Blaine, and tell us the story.
Okay. I was accused of dancing with a transvestite because of how she looked.
Oh my word! Was she a goth chick?
No, Hispanic, and she had a very square jaw.
Oh,
A strong built woman. Woman, mind you, woman, not a man. Woman. She was not transvestite. She was actually 100% grade A natural woman. It's just that they were so cruel to us that we ended up dancing out in the hall.
Oh wow, that's bad. I'm sorry you had to go through that.
They literally called us the cherries and berries because she went in a red dress and I went in a nice blue tuxedo.
Ah, cherries and berries. That's wow. Yeah, there's a reason I didn't go to. That story I told was not my prom. I didn't actually go to prom. I went to a very snooty high-end school, and I refused to, after seeing what I saw at the ring dance in my junior year. That dance that I was telling you about with Ronald McDonald was at our homecoming. It was a homecoming dance, but I refused to go to prom because I was not going to get myself caught up in all of that. I'm like, no, I'm good. I don't need to go to prom. And here it is almost 40 years later, and I don't regret it.
Now, I went to 3 different high schools.
Yeah.
One of the cool things I think that they do at the high school I went to in Iowa is like a week or 2 before prom. Now, prom is only for seniors. It's actually done in a hotel, in a small room in a hotel, because it's not necessarily a big class.
Right.
But like a week or 2, and they have a different dance. It's not just for seniors. It's called Mort.
Mort?
Prom backwards.
Okay.
And you can get to go in your jeans and whatever, and it's for everybody.
That's cool.
And I thought it was kind of a cool idea.
Well, that's cool. That's cool. Yeah.
Yeah, kids are evil, and
Yes,
they are. Yes, they are.
People are monsters, and I like I said, I feel really bad about how Regina was treated because she was honestly a wonderful person.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So this wasn't something you did; it was something they did to her. Okay.
Yeah.
Then I stand corrected.
Yeah,
On my earlier statement.
they sharpen their teeth on all the wrong people.
Try being the fat kid in class. Oh wait, that was my entire scholastic career.
Try being the nerd at the back of the classroom that made everybody else feel like they were stupid. That was me.
Yeah, that was me too. I get it. Not only was I the fat kid, I was also the nerd that made everybody else feel stupid.
Oh, and you want to talk about fat kids, brother? When I was 15, 16, and 17, I weighed, wait for it, 250 pounds. I am now 165.
I've got to drop 100 pounds before they'll do the reversal on my colostomy. So yeah, wish me luck on that one.
Well, I'll tell you the secret that lost me all that weight was riding a bicycle and smoking cigarettes.
Well, I'm not going to start smoking, and I'm too old to ride a bike. I think. However, I have considered, and if I can find somebody to do it here, I will. I know that they do them out on the West Coast. What I want to get is an adult tricycle, but I want to turn it into a chopper.
Ooh, those are expensive.
I know
When
they
we're talking like the lowrider bicycles.
the lowrider chopper by adult
Yeah.
tricycle.
Let me just put it this way: you could mortgage your house and still not to be able to be affording one.
No, they're not quite that expensive. I've looked. They're not
Oh,
quite
I've seen them. I actually had a friend who used to build them. $100,000 is cheap.
I know that I have the bike on the front porch,
Mm-hmm.
and I know I need to ride it.
Mm-hmm.
But what I've been told I need
Mm-hmm.
is a recumbent bike
Yeah.
because of my back.
Yeah, it's one of those that you sit
I sit low,
low.
and
And
the legs are out in front of me.
yeah. We've got a guy here in town that rides one all over town.
Yeah.
In fact, he was. When we went for your hearing aids, I saw him out there riding. He was out there riding. So yeah, they do make those, but yeah, I've even seen the ones that are hand.
Yeah, for the handicap, they can't utilize their legs.
They can't use their legs. I've actually seen those, but yeah. No, there's no way I would ever pay $100,000 for a custom built tricycle. Tricycle. I mean, not even if it was motorized, and I'm not talking about one of the motorized ones. I'm talking about a pedal bike.
Yeah. No, I'm talking about pedal bikes that are studded in diamonds and coated in gold.
I'm not looking at all that.
No.
I'm just looking to have one that's a little tricked out. Extended front forks, and the low seat like you're talking about.
Well, if you get the ones with the banana seat and the really long extendo forks and what they call rocker pedals, they're not your basic pedals. You just sit there and you rock your legs back and forth instead of actually pedaling.
Mm-hmm.
Those bicycles can run anywhere from between $1,000 on up to $10,000, depending on what else is on it.
I've seen some that are around 1,000. I've seen some of those that are around $1,000. But these were customized, very custom built. But that's the highest ones I've seen were right at about $1,000.
The regular pedal ones actually get more expensive.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know. It just, I can see me riding something like that just because I think it would be easier on my back. But
yeah.
Way, boy, is this conversation going in all directions at the same time. But I did say it was open.
I did not tell you.
What did you not tell me?
My lovely little excursion that was pretty much useless today.
Okay.
Looking for the package of
Yes.
cherry Kool-Aid.
Yes.
Well, I took a cart into Walmart so that I would be able to lean on it to ease my back.
Right.
Nothing unusual there with me.
Nope. For those of you who don't know, she does have back issues.
I have at least 2 herniated discs in my lower back, in my lower lumbar.
It's all that NASCAR.
Yeah, well, non-athletic sports are around rednecks. I'm just saying.
So I have a tendency to use a cart when I go to the grocery store. Well, I was only looking for the one thing. I had already gone to one store. They didn't have it. I went to Walmart specifically looking for it. They didn't have it. So I'm literally walking out of the store, and you know how they have the associate in the vest
Mm-hmm.
there to check you out.
Mm-hmm.
She's giving me kind of this weird look, like, all right, what did you stick where? There's nothing in your cart.
Then there's not a damn thing she could say to you.
No.
Nope.
I have nothing.
Because if she
If
had, if she had, that would have been her job.
yeah, there was nothing in any of my pockets. There might have been cigarettes and a lighter.
That would have been her job, and I would have seen to it that was her job. Because I know that that's against, to make an accusation like that and then to be proven wrong. Oh, that's her job. That is her job.
But she
Yeah.
gave me the dirtiest look, like, why are you walking out of here with an empty cart,
Because
no bag? What did you come in here for?
I came in for items that y'all ain't got. So I'm bringing the cart back out because my back hurts. Bitch.
Yeah, I had a friend who still consider him a friend if he's still alive. He could not walk around without a cane or without the shopping cart because his back was messed up really, really bad from riding motorcycles and peeling out. And about 250 miles an hour, he peeled out and hit the guardrail. Barely survived. Shattered his back in a lot of different places, and he could not walk around inside of a grocery store without leaning on a cart. It would literally put him lame on the floor.
My
And-
former in Arizona, when he goes shopping, he uses one of those Mart carts every time. One of those
Mhm.
little electric carts.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he hurts like I do. I think he's my height,
He's rotund.
but he's very heavy.
He's rotund, yes.
And yeah, his back does hurt because he's told me, he worked where he was throwing luggage in for the airport.
Right.
But I also think it's flat out being lazy.
Well, a lot of the time when it comes down to folks who have injuries, back injuries, and the like, I know this because me personally, y'all know I'm pretty messed up from the floor up.
Yep. Floor up.
It's a point of pride that you don't use those. I mean, I've been offered them. I've actually been offered to utilize one of those the handicap carts because this was at the not the Walmart, Winco. Sorry. Anyways, they offered for me to use one of those carts, and I said, no, I'm good. And I walked over and I grabbed one of those push around carts and leaned on it heavy. And the person there at the door said, would you rather use one of his carts? I said, no. And they said, well, why are you doing all of this? Why are you like leaning really hard on this cart? This cart can't support you. And I'm like, dude, I literally weigh less than a feather. I'm just doing this because I hurt.
Mm-hmm.
What's good, Mac? How are you? Yeah, we decided to have an open mic night tonight. There's no topic for
If you
tonight's
want to
chat.
step up into the panel,
You want to hop up on come up on the panel. The link's at the top. You're more than welcome. Yeah, I will say that
yeah, I mean,
there have been a handful of occasions since being diagnosed where I just did not have the strength or the energy to walk a store.
right. And I
Like
have
when-
had
like
no
when
problem.
when we went to Home Depot to get the dowels for the walking sticks that I've
The
still got.
railings.
So I didn't have this. I wasn't finished with chemo, and I think that was the week that I'd had treatment,
I think so.
and I was just feeling really just run down. I was drained. And so yeah, but there've only ever been a handful of occasions where I've ever used one. So I can't say that my ego has been so large that I just couldn't do it, because I've had to. So
I can say that my ego is so big that I couldn't do it. And in fact, after that instance with the feller at the Winco, I'll actually nowadays, even though it hurts way more to carry that amount of weight on my back and on my stomach, I will use the little hand basket thing as a
Right.
point of pride.
yeah, well,
I will admit, I have my pride and won't use
God,
at this
y'all,
point in time, won't use one of those Mark carts, but I am not above getting one of the push carts and leaning on it.
wow, y'all making a brother feel bad now.
I have had, I think I have had a doctor offer to write the script for a walker. I'm not ready for that. I'm 51 years old. I just got hearing aids. I just recently I've already had cataract surgery. I just recently got glasses back that are mainly for driving and reading, but I wear them all the time.
Mac, yeah, that's what she does. She does the same thing.
He's saying baggy.
No, he's
Oh, did you mean buggy, Matt?
buggy. He meant buggy. Yeah, he meant buggy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he meant buggy.
So, anyways, yeah, in case anybody ever sees me in the store and you see me walking around really fast and just like really quick pace and not paying attention to anybody and just moving like as if, I got a fire under my rear. That's why I'm in a lot of pain. I barely contain it, honestly.
I'm not going to walk behind him if he's got a fire under his rear, because he would probably throw a flame. If you were farted, he'd throw a flame.
Yep.
And I'd be
All
scared.
right. Yeah, okay. I'm Cartman. All right.
You know how? Okay, I'm going to change the subject because it's open mic night and we can do that. You know how they say that cows, it's the methane from a cow part that is causing the ozone layer to have holes? It's not. Don't blame the cows. It's not the cows' fault. It's the whales. Greenpeace is trying. They're eco-terrorists, and the reason I say that is because they're trying to protect those that are destroying the ozone. Did you know that when a whale farts, it can literally engulf an actual full-size horse? You take that much methane in the water, let it evaporate, go up into the clouds, and when it rains, it comes back down, and that's gas in the air. That's going to burn holes in the ozone.
Well,
He has thought this through for quite some time.
I'm telling you, it is whale farts, not cow farts. But you don't hear anybody say.
speaking of whales and whale gas.
Through ozone.
Do what, Plain?
I says, speaking of whales and whale gas, that was actually funny enough that I just broached that subject in this new chapter in my book. I was sitting there writing, and I thought it was kind of funny because I wrote that in. I did. And
Dr. Jacob Schmiegelstein says, that's right, Dr. Jacob Schmiegelstein, lead scientist and oceanographer, has stated that it is actually the methane in a whale's fart and not the cows. We should not be killing off all the cows.
Leave the Holsteins alone.
Free the Holsteins.
Holsteins.
That's what I said. Oh wait, no, we're not freeing any Holsteins. The Holsteins are evil. Did you know that the
Holsteins. And leave the Guernseys alone.
What about the jerseys?
Yes, those two.
We can leave the jerseys
And
alone.
the Angus.
Hey,
Yeah.
Angus, come on back here, lad. Come on, Angus.
I know you're black, but come on, brother.
Oh Lord.
Black Angus, brother.
I wonder,
What?
you get black Angus beef
Yes.
from a black Angus cow.
Does it-
Does that mean that if you get Kobe beef, it's from a Kobe cow?
I believe it comes from a cow from the Colby region of Japan.
But wait, what if it's not? Wait, what if it was a cow raised on Kobe Bryant's farm? Does that make it a Kobe cow?
And what about this?
I need to know this.
But is it still Kobe Bryant's farm anymore after the helicopter thing?
Do what? I hear what you said, Blaine. What?
I'm sorry, that was really morbid humor. I said, is it still Kobe Bryant's farm after the helicopter thing?
Yeah, it belongs to the Kobe family. It's the Kobe family.
What you looking for, honey?
My plug.
It should be plugged in.
That's what I thought.
I would believe it would be the Bryant farm, but anyways.
Yeah, it would be the Bryant farm
Hey, no, all right.
because Kobe was his first name.
Yeah, I know. I'm aware. Can you come see if I can?
Yeah, they just
Yeah. So,
you're gonna have to let me.
we're having some technical issues. I'm not plugged in.
I don't believe you're plugged in.
Oh, that's
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand by. We are experiencing technical difficulties.
Yes, we are.
You're plugged in.
No, I need the plug in. It goes into the computer.
You're plugged in.
No, I'm not, dear. I'm not plugged into the computer.
Well, that would be plugged in.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I needed. Got it. Sorry about the technical issues. Anyway,
His battery's dying.
So, anyways, back on the whale farts.
Yeah. Dr.
In-
Schmiegelstein says that one whale part is enough methane released into the ozone to burn a hole into the ozone the size of Nebraska.
And
Somebody
mind you, it's due to Dr. Schmiegelstein's work that
Yeah.
I just recently wrote this chapter in my book, and it was this is not an original series, mind. It was something I wrote just specifically for the Reddit books.
Oh no,
And-
no, Dr. Schmiegelstein is a real doctor.
Yes, I know. The premise of the chapter is that the Chinese are hunting extraterrestrial whales for their farts.
Well, the Japanese, who are still whaling, are actually trying to save the ozone. They are so afraid that the ozone over Japan is going to corrode that they are going out and they are mass hunting these whales. And it's Greenpeace and their ilk that are trying to stop them because they don't like. Let me stop. Let me just stop. Let me stop before I get hit from this information. This has all been.
They're the ones that are on oil rigs that are golfing and
Yes. Oh, speaking of golfing, did I ever tell you about the Golf Ball Liberation Organization?
oh god,
It was a paper I wrote in high school. And Blaine loves my writings.
Blaine.
The Golf Ball Liberation. I actually did a visual. It took a golf ball to school and did a whole speech on the golf ball liberation in English class. Free the golf ball. The Golf Ball Liberation Organization.
Yeah, it's kind of like the weather underground for golfers.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Is that anything?
Wait. If the weather is underground, does that explain why California is not getting any rain?
That would be a justifiable explanation. However, I believe it has more to do with the fact that, and I'm about to get into politics. Never mind.
Of the people takes blood-sucking leeches.
Would that
Yes.
be like Kentucky Ballistics stable
Yes,
protection?
100%. Yes. But then again, I have got to redo that for you. And I have promised to let her read my version of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. If you have children in the room, please ask them to leave, because this is an adult conversation for real.
Oh Lord.
Yeah, no, this Snow White was kicked out of her home by her evil stepmother, who had her husband offed for his portion of the company's the family company, family business. But she hated Snow so much that she booted her out. So Snow ended up going to the nearest large town, and she became a stripper at a nightclub known as the Poison Apple. Well, while she's dancing as a stripper at the Poison Apple,
Very true, Mac.
What's that?
A fart cuts through 2 layers of cloth and doesn't leave a hole.
That's true. That is very true. And they expected us to believe that anyway, we're not going there. I'm not going down the Coop Causeway. I'm not going to go down the Coop Causeway. We don't have to wear those anymore. I'm not going down that causeway. But yeah, Snow White and the let's just say Snow White was accompanied everywhere after that night by 7 dwarves on trikes, motorcycle trikes.
And each of the 7 dwarves had their own idiosyncratic problem.
Deficiencies. Yes, Doc was. I basically patterned Doc after Dr. Kevorkian. For those of you who don't know who Dr. Kevorkian is, look up assisted offing yourself. Sneezy had a cocaine habit. Sleepy was on downers. Happy was on uppers. Dopey was just dopey. Marijuana, yeah. Bashful had a complex, social anxiety complex.
I was thinking Tourette's, maybe.
No, he had social anxiety complex. Yeah, so I mean, you can see how this got very dark very fast.
What was it? Prince Charming.
Him and the scullery maid and Snow ended up hooking up. They used to do a threesome on a regular. It was a polygamous marriage.
Polyamorous relationship.
Yeah, it was polyamorous. Yes. That's even quieted Blaine down.
Mm-hmm.
Blaine's even gotten quiet on that. Yes. So yeah, I wrote that back in college because I had a professor who had a fascination with fairy tales, and he was like, take any fairy tale you want and rewrite it in your own style. I'm happy to say that I did not have to finish the story. However, I did. I just simply turned in the first portion of it, which was the individual character profiles for each of the characters. And just on those, he gave me an A.
Oh my Lord! I would have made your professor happy with the books series that I wrote. Because let me just run over Sky Knight in the series real quick because you kind of have to understand what it was based off of is specifically off of one of Mutt's books. It was inspired by it, and then I turned around and I just started reading like crazy all these different legends and myths and stuff like that. Celtic myths, Norse myths, and Native American myths and whatnot. And I started just stuffing little bits of it into the book. And at the tail end of all of it, here we're looking at it. Basically, it is an idea of a what if all of the legends and myths and fairy tales were true, just extremely embellished. And so when it comes down to it, like here we are at the end of the series that I write, and folks are asking me like, well, wait, what's it all about? What's the storyline? What's this, that, and the other? I'm like, bro, it was just a fun little project. And honestly, I think that when it comes down to it, my English literature teacher would have fallen over herself reading this, because she would have had a conniption about my Oxford commas and my speech impediment, which is I have an accent.
Oh, you have an accent?
You might say I got an accent. It come from Arkansas.
Arkansas.
Oh, don't yeah.
Not there is. Wait, isn't Arkansas similar to that Iowa? I think it's called Iowa.
This is why folks, when they says when they says that they got an Arkansas accent, I says, but you said it is Arkansas instead of Arkansas.
Arkansas.
It's Arkansas, like you saw it on the log.
Arkansas.
Yeah, it's Arkansas.
It's like that.
And when you says sir, it's not sir, it's sore.
It's sore.
It's sore.
Here's you know what? Okay, for those of y'all who don't know, Mrs. Mudd and I, yes, we were married on Father's Day this year, but 5.5 years ago we dated for like 1.5 years. And the one thing
it ended 5.5 years.
It ended 5.5 years. The one thing I never understood the entire time that we were together, for the 1.5 years that we were together, and I finally figured it out. I got to figure it out. I'm probably gonna get hit for this, but it's okay because I'm on the internet, and since I'm on the internet, you can't hit me because then I'll turn the camera on and I have witnesses.
You don't want none of that lemonade pie, do you?
I cook my own pie. Thank you very much.
I can take it upstairs with me.
You could. Now, see, I have wondered why somebody who loves Iowa so much will leave the state of Iowa. I found out. Found out why she left the state of Iowa. And the truth is very dark. So if you're from Iowa, I'm going to need y'all to calm down. Not get upset when I mention this. Okay? Because she's my wife and I love her. But my wife hates the Hawkeyes. She is actually a Nebraska fan. She's a
Lord,
folks.
You lie like a frog.
No, Lord.
I love to tease her about that. I love to tease her.
You may just wake up in the morning to ice going down your chest.
Ooh, baby. I have
Wow.
never made the reason, and she's not mad because it's not true. She's mad because it is true. What I'm telling y'all is the truth. She's on the and she's been hiding that secret all these years. But see, her mama told me that when she was a little girl, Danica had all of these pennants up on her wall, run around and wearing the jerseys and stuff. And you can't be from Iowa and be rooting for Nebraska. It just don't work. All right, folks. If I
always thought that Cornhuskers were just a little strange.
well, if I turn up dead tomorrow, or if you hear me say I need a cup of decaf coffee, I'm in trouble. Send the police quick.
Oh, I will be watching. I will be watching to see if another one of the steampunk, the steampunk babes is up here.
I am getting the look of death over here right now.
Billy Bean hostage.
Hey, no, there is a fan base of millions who are waiting for that next chapter.
Yeah, I know. But so, folks, if I come up missing, y'all know where to start because I'm getting the look of death right now. No, the truth is, all kidding aside, all joking aside, Danica is not a Cornhusker fan. She is truly a Tar Heels fan.
Oh, it just got worse.
It did. Oh, she crammed over her mouth because she didn't want to swear on the. No,
I swear, I could hear that knife being unsheathed.
She is a dyed in the wool. In all seriousness, all kidding aside, she is a dyed in the wool, die hard Hawkeyes fan. She really is.
Thank you.
Granted, I call them the Angry Chickens because that's what their logo looks like. It looks like a chicken. But
did you see what Mac posted in the chat?
What was that, Mac?
I'm a Snow White stripper fan.
Hey, Mac, I'll send you a copy as soon as I finish rewriting it. That's been some years ago that I wrote that. I'd have to sit down and rewrite the whole thing, but for you, I'll do that.
Because of my family history, I have a little bit of a sports
dilemma.
Self-conflict. I was born in Iowa and lived there until I was approximately 14 years old. From there, I moved to Wisconsin. So I am first and foremost an Iowa Hawkeye fan. Like I have told Mutt, black and gold until I'm dead and cold.
Okay. Well, if you think that what he just said about you was all that bad,
listen,
I'm gonna point something out to y'all.
Dead and cold. That's because she's already old.
That said, second college team is the Wisconsin Badgers out of Madison, Wisconsin, because that was where I lived for the rest of my high school career. But I always wanted, my dream college was to go to University of Iowa, which is the school for the Hawkeyes in Iowa City.
Mm.
Well,
And yes.
like and I says, if y'all think that's bad, you ain't got nothing on me. I was born in Los Angeles back when the Raiders were still in Los Angeles. And
Mhm.
I left Los Angeles before they became the Los Angeles Rams. And I have been, since I was a young man, a Broncos fan.
You are dilemma. You have got the dilemma.
And the worst of it all is that before I was a Broncos fan, I was a Cowboys fan.
Well, see, that's not a problem. If I still followed football, I would still be a Cowboys fan. But I haven't followed football or any other professional sports since 2020 when they all started taking knees to the American.
Oh yeah, neither is I.
have not
I'll be
followed-
fair and honest. Ever since Kaepernuts went and decided that he was going to be Mr. Sister, I said, nope. And I wouldn't even watch football with my daddy. And that was one of our favorite pastimes, other than duck
I don't
hunting.
even follow American baseball because they went and got into it, and I quit. I never was a NASCAR fan because it just didn't make any the sport, and I'm air quoting here, never made any sense to me to press the gas and turn the wheel to the left.
Oh my Lord, you are literally pissing up the wrong tree with that one, Oz.
Well, okay,
Yeah, well,
but
he
here's
knows I'm a NASCAR fan.
Oh no! I said that before I even knew who she was. I'll be honest with you. I've never
And
understood
in
that.
all fairness,
But when they took the Confederate flag out of NASCAR, I said, "Fuck NASCAR."
in all fairness, when we were together the first time, he was actively following the Cowboys.
Died in the war. I told
And,
you. I died
yeah,
in the Cowboys.
I'm not denying that. When we broke up, I swore
She'd never date another Cowboys
I
fan. So
would never be with another Cowboys fan.
what does she do? She goes and she marries me.
I get back with him.
She marries me. Hold on.
But you're
You're not a Cowboys fan anymore, so you're good. You still kept your promise. The Boston Whalers.
Now I'll tell you, Mac, I don't get to watch the games. I don't tend to watch much in the way of baseball. I haven't really watched baseball
Whalers.
games.
I believe the Whalers are a hockey team, are they
I'm
not?
not talking about. I'll get there.
Okay.
I haven't watched a baseball game since I was out in Arizona and went to a couple Diamondbacks games. But personally, as far as watching goes, I'm a Red Sox fan.
I used to be when I followed baseball. I literally don't follow any. Hell, I didn't even watch the Olympics.
Well, yeah, but that's
I was in protest of the Olympics. So there's that. But
now I keep track of how my Packers do for the most part. My phone will generally tell me what the score is on a game. Especially certain games I will try my best to keep track of. Like the Bears and the Vikings.
and I'm sure that this season, now that she'll end up telling me what the score of the
Not necessarily.
Packers Dallas game is, even though I'm not following it. Just so if by some chance Brett Favre's former team can beat the Cowboys now that Brett's not there, she'll want bragging rights.
I still get a kick out of the fact that it must have been a slow ass news day one day when I was living in
Arizona.
Elkhorn,
Oh,
in
okay.
Wisconsin. Favre had left.
Oh wait, the Boston Whalers. The Boston Whalers. The Boston hockey team is the Bruins. So who are the Boston Whalers?
Is that a basketball team?
I don't know. I genuinely no. That's the Celtics.
I've been out of watching sports so long that I forgot
Somebody put down in the chat who the Boston Whalers are, so I know what the heck he's.
Yeah, man.
I love Mac to death, but I need
know.
to know who the Whalers are because I don't have a clue.
But
Unless you're talking about the actual boats, and then you're a fan of them going out there and rowing the boats. I mean, I don't know.
But Barb had left and gone to the Vikings, and he had been there for a little while.
Okay.
Another family had bought his house in Green Bay and had been living there for a little while.
Mm-hmm.
Well, apparently they opened up some little cubby hole within the house.
Mm-hmm.
And it was reported that in that cubby hole, they found purple paint.
But
So they wondered if that wasn't foreshadowing. So it must have been a slow news day in Wisconsin.
Well, if we're going to be sitting here talking about the Vikings, I do have to mention something. I remember, as I said, I was a diehard at the time Broncos fan.
yes.
I played football on a high school team called the Vikings.
Yeah, well, we're not talking about those Vikings, I promise.
No,
Mac,
I know that. I know that. But our emblem was the same one.
That's funny. Mac, I gotta say, the women's boxing was
Just another reason for us. To not
that was just
watch.
another reason for me not to watch it. I mean, you've got a man. You got a man who
Biologically a man.
biologically there were two of them. There was two instances, and one of those women died
Right.
from a concussion. At least that was reported. The Mexican young lady died because she ended up with a severe concussion from I don't remember if it was Taiwanese. I think it might have been a Taiwanese boxer.
Yeah. That ain't the worst of it, brother.
Oh no, that death is the worst of it when a man beats a woman to death in the ring and gets away with it.
No. Because both of the contenders for the gold medal
Oh God.
are men.
Well,
In the women's boxing.
and the women's,
category.
yeah, but that's because they couldn't cut it in the men, so they decided to pretend to be women.
Yep.
Well, I have an announcement to make, ladies and gentlemen, and don't none of y'all say nothing, not near a word when I make this announcement, because I'm gonna get powerful mad if he does. My name is Ruby Satin, okay,
Oh, good gracious.
and I identify as a proud Southern black woman. And I dare one of y'all to make a sexist or racist comment about me. Okay, I'm done now. Because y'all know that's a damn lie.
I was about to say, I was like,
Oh no. I did a whole on the old channel, on the What's America, I did a whole skit on that when that whole thing about Bud Light came out. I did a whole damn skit on that, and people were dying. They were dying laughing when I was done.
you know,
Yeah.
I was sitting there crying, right?
I'm sure you were.
I laughed so hard I was crying, and that's honest.
My name is Ruby Satin. Yep. Diamond and pearls ain't got shit on me. Sugar and
Salt
cream
and pepper,
either.
honey? No. My name is Ruby Satin.
Satin.
What?
You can call me Miss Satin or you can call me Miss Ruby, but you do not call me late for dinner.
Oh, Lord. That's some funny stuff right there. You like, It's
y'all's
even
having
worse.
Listen, y'all, if y'all's having fatback and collard greens, go ahead and call me early because I'll be there.
See,
Yeah.
I was born in Torrance, California, but I speak with a Arkansas drawl.
Arkansas.
Not an Arkansas twang, mind you, an Arkansas drawl.
Excuse me.
There are two different ends of that state, and there are two different accents in that state.
I'm laughing at Mac's comment. Oh my God, that would be hilarious. Is that where they're gonna? My question is that where they would hang the medal off of? Could you see it?
Oh Lord!
Yeah, that happens, and they just hang it off of that instead.
You want to talk about the debauchery?
Hey, I'm going to make fun of it because it's ridiculous. The whole damn thing is ridiculous. I mean, it's disgusting, but it is ridiculous at the same time. So, yeah, y'all want to pretend to be something you're not. Cool, whatever. But
I'm sitting here. I'm honestly glad that my daddy is no longer around because, and I'm gonna get a little solemn here, but his favorite thing in the world was the Olympics. He was actually he was a parking lot security guard at the National Olympic or the International Olympics in Utah.
Okay.
And it was his life's dream that I would be one of the pentathlon shooters in the Olympics. I refuse to disgrace his name or mine for that matter by ever going and trying out for the Olympics.
Nope. I'm surprised. I'm gonna try to lighten the mood here a little bit. My dad couldn't stand the IOC. He hated them with a passion. But he would have gotten a kick out of me making fun of them. I guarantee it. He would have been dying laughing. Did y'all hear? The one thing that I haven't heard much on was that the French Olympic synchronized swimming team all drowned. Evidently, evening gowns just become far too heavy to swim in when they get wet. Who knew?
I'm so sorry for those of you who were wearing headphones. I could not contain that one.
Who knew?
It's all those sequins and that silk.
Okay, well, when we get married, since you're going to be wearing one of them big hoop dresses, I'm forbidding you to go swimming at my aunt and uncle's.
That's fine.
Not at least not in the dress. We go skip dipping afterwards, but we are not letting you go swimming in that dress. But yeah, I'm surprised y'all ain't heard that. Yeah, the entire French synchronized swimming team drowned because their evening gowns just
Too heavy.
They were too heavy, and they don't float.
On that note, like I said, my daddy wanted me to be a pentathlon shootist. What he did not realize was that even though I'm a pretty strong swimmer, I kind of swim like a rock, so I have to go to the bottom to come back up to the top.
Why are you shooting penguins?
I said a pentathlon shootist. Pentathlon, that's where you do the relay, the 100-meter dash, you ride the bicycles, you do the swimming, and then you go and you shoot.
Oh, I had a completely different sport in my head. Sorry. My bad.
Penguin shooting. What? That puts a whole new sense to the phrase of wing shooting right there, Hoss.
Yeah.
Mutt was just having a Gilda Radner moment.
Who's he? Who's Gilder? Who? You want me to gild? But you're not gilding me, baby, because we're gonna fight for real. You try to gild me, I'm gonna hit you with a right hook, followed by the left jab.
It gilds your nipples with some whipped cream.
We'll talk about that after the show.
All right, it's time to go get the watermelons and Gallagher here.
Well, gang, it's been
2 hours.
2 hours. I'm gonna call this one done. I hope y'all have had some laughs. I know we started
Did
out
you see
rather.
Matt's latest comment?
Women archery teams have longer. Oh my god! Oh, leave it to Mac to top what I said.
Oh, if you think that's bad, the men's bicycle team
Yeah.
took all their seats off.
Oh my god. Wait, no. I heard that. You know what I did hear about those? I did hear about the bicycle teams. They decided that they were going to honor the band Queen, and everybody had to ride naked through Paris.
Oh my lord!
No, not that song. But he did write bicycles and Fat Bottom Girl by taking a bubble bath in Paris while watching a naked bicycle race going through Paris from his bedroom window.
I thought it was from the hotel.
It was the bathroom was in the hotel, but it was adjacent to his bedroom,
Right.
in the hotel.
But it wasn't his home.
He wasn't at home. No, he was in a hotel
That was
in
my
Paris.
point.
Yeah, he was in a hotel in Paris watching.
So-
a bubble bath.
Y'all heard that the Olympics hired a Turkish hitman, Mr. Dakesh?
Is that
Apparently, no. Apparently, don't get ahead of me, brother. Don't get ahead of me. Apparently, the Dakesh mode of shooting is to make the Koreans and the Japanese look like they are overdressed for the occasion.
I see. So were they all wearing high heels?
Apparently. Also,
Or did they?
What?
Or were they? Or did they do the mix and wear the high heels with tuxedos?
apparently they had equipment that was actually outlawed in the Olympics. You're not supposed to have that, right? That eye blinder.
Yeah.
You're actually not supposed to have those, and you're not supposed to have the hats with the sides on them anymore.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but they went and they competed that way anyways. But Mr. Dakesh went along with the actual Olympic the shooting regulations, and they started. They gave him I think it was the bronze, and they awarded these other people the silver and the gold. Like, what the hell? Y'all wrote the regulations, but you won't disqualify people for breaking them. I mean,
that means we're not even go down that. We're gonna go down that trail. But it is getting late, so we're gonna get ready to close this out. I'm gonna give Mrs. Mutt last word.
I just want to say thank everybody for joining us. We really appreciate it. We love having everybody come, whether they're up on the panel or just in the chat. We enjoy talking to everybody. And we are thankful to have our subscribers. We're up to what, 675?
No, we are now at 681.
Wow.
We're now at 681. So if you're not already subscribed, please, if you're listening to this after, hit the subscribe button. We promise. Yeah, if we get it, if we can get it to 1,000, and it's because of this, we'll do more open topic chats. I've been wanting to do more anyway.
Yeah, it's been ages since we've done late night open mics. We need to do these more often.
So, make sure you join us for Wednesday's show when we discuss the USS Virginia.
Don't forget to hit that like button.
Blaine, thanks for coming up. I think Blaine is. He's hit his mic.
One.
I said thank you.
Yeah, I know it, and I turned off my my mic so that I could make sure that you wasn't having an echo because I noticed it. Anyways, thank you for having me up, and I'm a jet.
All right, I will talk to you later, brother.
Right,
Everybody else, y'all take care. Catch you on the other side. There you go.